Hey everyone, welcome back. We're diving into AI ethics today, specifically how it might be overlapping with human ethics.
Yeah, it's a hot topic these days for sure.
We've got a mountain of research to dig through, and honestly, it's pretty mind-blowing.
I know. I know, it's changing so fast.
We'll be looking at how machine learning is starting to, you know, predict human moral judgment. Yeah.
Can AI learn to be moral?
And then we'll get into some fascinating parallels between how our brains and AI systems approach ethical decisions.
That's a good one.
Plus, we'll explore these new hybrid models that are blending human and AI approaches.
That's where it gets really interesting, that convergence of technology and ethics.
Absolutely. One thing that really stood out to me was how AI is being used in healthcare.
Oh, yeah. Like those robot doctors we keep hearing about.
Well, not exactly robots, but AI systems are helping with tough decisions,
Right.
like how to allocate limited resources.
Right. Those life or death calls.
Exactly. It makes you wonder, can a machine really grasp the weight of those choices? That is the core question, isn't it? To even understand that, we need to look at how machines are learning to make those judgments in the first place.
Well, one study used this thing called the moral machine.
The moral machine. What's that?
So, they gathered millions of human judgments on these ethical dilemmas.
Like what?
Imagine those classic self-driving car scenarios. You know, does the car hit a pedestrian or swerve into another vehicle?
Oh, I've seen those thought experiments. Tough choices.
They fed all those human choices into a machine learning model.
To see if the AI could predict what people would do?
Exactly. And the results are
Yes.
pretty surprising.
How so?
The AI got really good at predicting how we'd react in those situations.
Wow. So the AI is learning to think like us, ethically speaking.
In a way, yes. But it's important to remember, it's not genuine moral reasoning.
What do you mean?
It's more like
Yeah.
the AI is recognizing a familiar song with understanding the lyrics.
Okay. It's mimicking our choices, but not necessarily understanding the reasoning behind them. So the big question is, can AI move beyond mimicking to actually understand the ethics behind the decisions?
That's the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
And to get a handle on it, we need to look at how we make ethical decisions. What's going on in our brains?
So we need to bring in some neuroscience.
Precisely. We know that certain areas of the brain are key for ethical decision-making.
Like what?
Well, your prefrontal cortex helps you weigh different moral factors. And then there's the amygdala, which is all about emotions.
Ah, the emotional center.
Right. Particularly those gut feelings that influence our choices.
So it's like our brains are mixing logic and emotion when it comes to ethics.
Precisely. And here's where it gets really interesting. AI research is finding ways to mirror those processes, even without actual emotions.
Hold on. How can AI mimic something as complex as human emotion?
Well, think of it as replicating the effects of emotions on decisions.
Okay.
I'm listening. Through rule-based systems, AI can be given specific ethical guidelines, like always minimize harm. It's like reflecting our instinct to protect others, but in code.
So it's kind of like giving AI a set of moral instructions similar to our own internal compass.
You could say that.
What else are these AI systems learning?
Another area is something called reinforcement learning.
Reinforcement learning. I've heard that term, but remind me.
So the AI learns to make choices by getting rewards for good decisions.
Like a virtual pat on the back.
Exactly. Similar to how we strive for the best outcomes in our own lives.
No. It's learning through trial and error, figuring out what leads to positive results.
Right. And what's fascinating is that we're seeing AI incorporate ethical frameworks that humans have used for centuries.
Like what?
Like utilitarianism, which focuses on maximizing well-being.
The greatest good for the greatest number.
Exactly. Or deontological ethics, which is about following a strict set of rules.
So it's like AI is learning to speak the language of human ethics.
In a way.
Yes. And if it's speaking our language, does that mean its decisions are the same as ours?
It is learning our language.
Yeah.
And it can reach similar conclusions. But the question remains, is it arriving at those conclusions through a fundamentally different process?
And does that difference matter?
That's what we'll explore next. And that's where this whole idea of hybrid models comes in, combining human intuition with AI analysis.
So like an ethical dream team, human intuition meets the power of AI.
Yeah, you could think of it that way. Like take healthcare, for example. Doctors face these incredibly complex ethical decisions every day.
Absolutely. Life or death decisions, how to allocate resources, end-of-life care. It's a lot.
It really is. And that's where AI could be so valuable. not replacing human judgment,
Right.
but supporting it.
Right, like an AI assistant for ethics.
Exactly. Imagine an AI system that analyzes a patient's medical history, their condition, all the treatment options, and then gives the doctor data-driven insights.
So it's like having an AI consultant helping doctors weigh the different options.
Precisely. It could even help identify potential biases in human decision-making, like unconscious preferences for certain treatments.
Interesting. So AI could actually help make healthcare more equitable.
It's a real possibility.
Yeah.
And we're seeing similar applications in other fields too, like criminal justice, where AI is being used to inform sentencing decisions.
That's a bit controversial, though, isn't it, using AI to decide punishments?
It definitely raises some ethical concerns, but it's an area where AI is already having an impact.
And what about finance? I've heard AI is being used to detect fraud.
That's right. AI is being used to analyze financial transactions and identify patterns that might indicate fraud.
So AI is becoming this ethical tool helping us make fairer decisions across so many different areas.
It has the potential, but we need to be careful. It's not just a one-way street. As AI becomes more integrated into our lives, it's going to start reflecting our values, our beliefs, even our flaws.
So it's like AI is holding up a mirror to our own ethical complexities.
In a way, which is why it's so crucial that we approach AI ethics with a critical eye.
We can't just blindly trust AI to make the right decisions. We need to be asking tough questions, demanding transparency and accountability.
Absolutely. We can't just be passive observers. We need to be active participants, shaping the development and use of AI in a way that aligns with our values.
And that brings up another point. This isn't just about AI being ethical. It's also about how AI can help us become more ethical ourselves.
Now, that's a fascinating idea.
Right. Instead of fearing that AI will make us less ethical, we might find that it actually makes us more so.
It's a real possibility. By highlighting our blind spots, challenging our assumptions, and pushing us to think more critically about our values, AI could help us become more ethically aware.
So AI could be a catalyst for ethical growth, both for itself and for us.
Precisely. But let's be realistic for a second. There are still a lot of unknowns, a lot of potential risks that we need to consider.
Like, what are some of the things that keep you up at night when you think about the future of AI ethics?
Well, one concern is that we might become too reliant on AI for ethical decision-making.
You mean like becoming so dependent on our ethical GPS that we forget how to read a moral map ourselves?
That's a great analogy. We need to be careful not to let AI become a crutch that prevents us from developing our own ethical muscles.
So it's about finding the right balance, using AI to support our ethical decision-making, but not letting it replace it entirely.
Exactly. Another concern is the potential for unintended consequences.
Unintended consequences, like...
Even the most well-intentioned AI systems are still bound by the data we feed them, and even the smallest bias in that data can have a ripple effect leading to unfair or harmful outcomes.
It's like the butterfly effect. A small change in the beginning can lead to huge unforeseen changes down the line.
Precisely. And in the realm of ethics, those unintended consequences could be devastating.
So how do we guard against that? How do we make sure that our good intentions don't lead us down the wrong path?
Transparency and accountability are key. We need to be able to understand how AI systems are making decisions to identify and correct for biases and to hold those responsible accountable when things go wrong.
It's like demanding an ethical audit trail for every AI system.
It's exactly, and involving ethicists and social scientists in the development process from the very beginning, not just as an afterthought.
So it's not just about the technical aspects of AI, it's about the values that are embedded in its design and implementation.
Absolutely. And ultimately, it comes down to cultivating a sense of ethical responsibility among everyone involved in creating and deploying AI systems, from the programmers to the policymakers.
We need to make sure that everyone in that chain understands the profound impact AI can have on our lives and that they take that responsibility seriously.
It's a big challenge, but the stakes are too high to ignore.
Okay, we've talked about the challenges, the risks, the potential pitfalls, but let's end on a more hopeful note. What are you most excited about when you think about the future of AI ethics? What are the glimmers of hope that keep you motivated?
One thing that inspires me is the incredible talent and dedication of the people working in this field. There's so much passion for using AI to make a positive impact on the world.
It's like a new generation of ethical pioneers exploring uncharted territory with a sense of purpose and wonder.
Exactly. And I'm also excited about the potential for AI to help us understand ourselves better.
How so?
By studying how AI systems approach ethical dilemmas, we might gain new insights into our own moral reasoning, our biases, and the factors that shape our choices.
So AI could be a tool for self-discovery, helping us to become more aware of our own ethical strengths and weaknesses.
Precisely. And that kind of self-awareness is essential for any kind of ethical progress, whether it's driven by humans or machines.
It's like AI is giving us a new language for talking about ethics, a new set of tools for exploring those age-old questions of right and wrong.
It's a language that's still evolving, but one that has the potential to transform the way we think about ethics, morality, and our place in the world.
It's a pretty incredible time to be alive, to witness this convergence of technology and philosophy.
It is indeed. And it's up to all of us to shape this future, to ensure that AI is used to enhance our humanity, not diminish it.
That's a perfect note to end on. But before we wrap up, I want to leave our listeners with one final thought. If AI can help us become more ethically consistent, more fair, and maybe even more compassionate, what does that mean for the future of humanity? It's a question worth pondering as we navigate this new world of AI ethics. And with that, we've reached the end of our deep dive. We've covered a lot of ground today, exploring the complexities of AI ethics, the potential benefits and risks, and the importance of human responsibility.
It's been a fascinating conversation.
Indeed. And we hope this deep dive has given you a better understanding of the ethical implications of AI and the role we all play in shaping its future.
We encourage you to continue exploring this topic, asking questions, and engaging in thoughtful discussions about the role of AI in our lives.
Thank you for joining us, and until next time, keep diving deeper.
Yeah, it really is a powerful idea. AI helping us be more ethical, even more compassionate.
Yeah.
But how do we make sure this collaboration with AI doesn't, backfire? We humans aren't exactly known for our perfect track record. That's the challenge, isn't it? And I don't think there's an easy answer. But maybe it starts with remembering that AI is a tool just like any other.
Right. A hammer can build a house, or it can, cause harm.
Exactly. It all comes down to how we use it. We can't just fear AI or treat it like some kind of ethical monster.
We have to take responsibility to make sure it reflects our values and that we're using it to help people, not control them.
That's a good way to put it. We need to stop seeing AI as just a way to automate things and start thinking about it as a partner in making the world better.
A partner in ethical progress. So we're not just teaching AI to be ethical, but also learning from it along the way.
Right. AI can challenge us, help us see things we might miss, and make us think harder about what we believe. It can help us grow ethically.
I like that. But let's be real, not everyone is on board with this whole AI ethics thing. Some people think it's just hype or a distraction from bigger problems.
True. And that's why education is so important. We need to help people understand what AI is, how it works, the impact it's already having.
Demystify it a bit, make it less scary and more understandable.
Exactly. We need to show people that AI ethics isn't just some abstract debate. It affects all of us, our jobs, healthcare privacy, even our sense of self.
It's about our lives. So we have to connect those dots, show people how AI ethics is relevant to their everyday experiences.
And don't forget, AI ethics isn't just about preventing bad things. It's also about doing good. Using AI to make the world fairer, more sustainable, a better place for everyone.
So we focus on the positive potential of AI, how it can help us achieve our best selves. It's a vision that could bring people together.
It could. At the end of the day, it's not just about AI, it's about us. It's about the kind of future we're building.
Well said. And it looks like we've reached the end of our deep dive into the world of AI ethics. From the basics of machine learning to the really big questions about consciousness and how to bring AI into our lives in an ethical way.
It's been quite a journey.
The biggest takeaway for me is that this conversation is just beginning. As AI keeps evolving, so will the ethical questions around it.
And it's up to all of us to keep asking those questions to make sure AI develops in a way that benefits humanity.
So to everyone listening, keep learning, keep asking questions, keep the conversation going. The future of AI ethics is in our hands.
Let's make it a future worth having.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll see you next time.